What's Up Android. So that's a blog all about the Android ecosystem, about Android devices, and also, of course, about applications.
Yes.
And in my opinion, well, not only in my opinion, of course, Android is a perfect platform to get attached to and connect to the Google services.
Correct.
You know, what kind of Google services are you using? What are you using on a daily basis for your work?
Well, let me check. I have to check on my Google document list to see the list of apps I use. Pretty much everything. I use Google Reader, Google Calendar, Google Documents, because it's just fabulous for sharing documents with literally global. Google, I say Gtalk. I have 3 Gmail accounts, 1 Googlemail.com account because I'm here in Europe now. Pretty much everything.
So actually you're already outsourcing a couple of, let's say, not only applications into the cloud, you're mainly using services, or software as a service, or however we wanna define this, but you're also getting content and data into the cloud.
Definitely, I really believe that the cloud is the future.
Yeah, absolutely. JKK, you're not only good in fixing devices, but you also, you know, in my opinion, one of the role models, or the global role models of a mobile worker. So maybe you can tell the audience a little bit how you're doing your work. And you know, I think a good example would be if you're just telling them how you are working, how we are working together from the show floor over here at CeBIT, because I think you also have some device that you can show.
Yeah, so we have been actually broadcasting live video from the show floor, not only doing the offline view. So I have a netbook with me that's connected with 3G and a USB cable to my cam. So we are broadcasting with that, and then calling in with mobile phones to our studio. So Steve from UMPC Portal is on the studio all the time broadcasting us, and we use real video cams to also broadcast that. And while we do that, we can do that anywhere. What we are doing right now, I'm actually recording this on my cam, always freehand, always walking there, always using mobile devices, so we don't really need the press rooms or any kind of other cabling rooms. So this is my netbook, that's EPC, used to be EPC, now it's called JKK's computer, as it's heavily modified with 3G access, high quality batteries, and hot swappable SIM card slots. You can see the SIM card slot there.
Here. So because he's traveling all over the planet, so he put a little hot swap for a SIM card slot, and that you can easily exchange this.
And one really big thing on the netbooks is SSDs. So I have a high quality Runcore SSD on mine, so this is faster than many of yours real big laptops. So video editing, I've done maybe 40 videos now from here, everything edited with this small device, just because you can, and we want to be practicing what we preach, so we actually use these devices. But last but not least, my droid. I've been annoying everyone here with my droid sounds, but this is really becoming a tool for me. I've done all my photos with that, connecting, sending, even editing some of my blog posts with that. So it's a great tool. Android on a powerful system with the keyboard, with the touchscreen. That's the key here. So that's the tools I use here.
Yeah, and just to add something, we are 3 guys running Meet Mobility, and we have a guy in Bonn, he's an English guy, Steve, who's maybe
from UMPC Portal
watching us right now. So he's in the studio, and whenever we found something interesting over here on CeBIT on the show floor, we're immediately calling in, doing a live stream, and letting the audience know what's going on. So, and he's online for some 12 or 14 hours during the shows, and we have a chat room over there, and yeah. So it's kind of instant content producing that we do.
It is. The best thing is just 2 hours ago, he actually received that same device you are holding there, and he unboxed it live with hundreds of people watching. So
right,
that's what we do. We go live immediately when needed, and also record that and spread the word on YouTube and our blogging environment. So.
Great, fantastic. Arno, you, as I said already, you're a spokesperson for RIM in Germany, and in my opinion, RIM pretty much invented, or kind of opened the market for mobile messaging, especially for in a professional environment, for all those Android and iPhone users. I'm pretty sure we have lots of them over here. Can you tell a little bit about the Blackberry concept?
Well, if I look at the panel, it pretty much represents the fact that Blackberry platform is the oldest on the market, and I'm probably the oldest one on stage here. So, pretty similar. So we invented the push technology. I was just about to ask you what device you're using. Right? Thank you. So the Blackberry platform is a little different. As you said, we invented mobile email. We have a push technology in place. It's an open community as well, but most people don't know. It's based on Java. So we have more than 250,000 developers here. But the market is big, so I'm happy for everyone who's joining, because we have to educate the world that smartphones are good.
Right, and you actually also did, push emails years before Apple announced this with Yahoo when they announced their first iPhone, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the good thing about our push channel is we grew up with email. Everybody says Blackberry is mobile email only, which now changed because you can push application through the same channel.
So you even have an app store right now, right? Not right now, already a couple of months.
Well, we were the last ones, of course, but we're trying to catch up. We introduced the app world summer last year, but it's growing fast.
Okay, before we're talking about some weird production device, let's go back to, let's stay with smartphones. Sorry, I don't want to pick on your smartphones if they are not production device, but in general, I feel a little bit different.
I'm using a notebook as well, by the way.
Okay, there you go. So, smartphone in general, I mean, all of us are using a smartphone. Smartphone time-killing device or time-saving device? What do you think, Joanna?
I think it depends on, what you're using your smartphone for. When I'm on the show floor here, I'm using it to save time. I'm, shooting off emails to people I work with. But, if I'm back home and I'm, trying to kill time on a train, I can use a smartphone to watch, video, or I can use it to tweet or communicate with people. So I think it depends, but that's one of the things that's so great about kind of the versatility that it's developed with smartphones, is that, it really started out as this work device, which BlackBerry really, pioneered. And since, with all the iterations, and really what Apple was able to do is really show people you can use this for so many things, and the apps that have come to the Android platform, and the variety of them in the app stores just indicate all the different things you can do with them. So you're having these single devices that really turn from work to play within seconds.
Carmen, what about you? Are you mainly using your Android phone just to kill some time, just to look at some news or whatever? Are you actually also producing some content over there? Are you really doing some work on it?
Definitely, I agree with what Joanna said, wholeheartedly, ditto. The devices that I use, they have to be mobile, they have to always access a wireless connection, or else, if you're not connected, you're not connected. You're not connected globally. I use this to blog, to tweet, to connect with friends, family, business, people that I need to network with, and then when I do that 1 hour back and forth commute to work, I play puzzle blocks, or that's a plug, Andre Rabbled, so it's both. It depends on what you want to use it for, and exactly what Joanna is saying is these mobile devices empower people to choose second to second, moment to moment, how they want to live their life. Business, pleasure, all at the same time, multitasking.
Right. What about you, JKK? Anything to add to this?
For me, Droid is a tool. A smartphone is a tool. It's fully a tool, and the play part comes when you can play with the tool. Which means for me, it's just doing anything, working, whatever. That's play. When I can play with a mobile device. I think for me, the real thing started with the Google services, because I have everything on Google services. So is it the calendar? Is it email? Is it my document? It's all there. And finally now I can access it all with my phone, and for me that's really the best environment ever, because I can search any information I have there. Problems for that, the only problem I see on that is that you cannot separate your work and play if you don't work hard to do that. So disabling your phone is, you don't want to do that. So I think for me it's all about work, and only the phone part of the phone is play. I do watch videos, but I mostly watch videos related to work. So it's time saving for sure. Even we have those great netbooks and UMPCs and such, the problem is to have it inside your pocket and all the time connected. So that's the key here. Phone can be connected all day and access the information you need. So fully time saver.
How about you, Arno?
I mean, I have nothing much to add. I think we're all on the same page. It can save time by killing time. That's what we all said. And I wanted to add something else. Look, a couple of years ago, you as well, I mean, we met in Taiwan. You had an MP3 player in this pocket, a cell phone in this pocket, a PDA in this pocket, and you had a digital camera here. And I think the approach from everyone is just use one device, right?
Yeah.
Save weight. And like, I think all devices on the market are capable of having office applications on it. So if I know exactly what I'm presenting, I don't even need my netbook or notebook, because I'm traveling 2 days on business, and I can present everything from a smartphone on a beamer. So.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because we're talking about this one device strategy for so many years, but actually I think I'm getting more devices. I'm using definitely
Me too.
Now I have the smartphone, I have the MP3 player, the camera in there. I'm getting an additional camera, a better camera again.
Because you like
gadgets.
That's it. You're a gadget guru.
And that's why we're actually also using JKK. Do you have the Wi-Fi with you?
Yeah, sure.
This is a really cool device that I want to show you because, you know, I'm living in Taiwan on planes and in hotels, and so most of the time, or the first thing that I put into my pocket is a little device. It's a 3G router. It's called Wi-Fi. That's the one. You're just getting a SIM card in there, and you're capable of getting 5 devices into the internet, building up your own little Wi-Fi network around you. And it's really cool, especially when you're on conferences with a crappy internet, right? And asking people, hey, you want to get into the internet? You know, they will love you for this. So that's the Wi-Fi. I think it's getting sold in Germany over Vodafone, but you can also get it on Amazon, roughly around $200, right? 5 hours of battery life.
4.
Okay, 4. I'm sorry, I'm exaggerating a little bit.
You can plug it in.
And yeah, it's a really cool device, you know, to get all your devices into the internet. And by the way, due to the fact that this is called Webciety, whenever you have a question, I feel kind of weird, right? Because we're standing so, you know, among all these other guys, you know. I would love to do Q&A for the whole time, actually, you know, because that's what it's all about Webciety, having some interaction. If you have any questions, you know, just raise your hands. For the guys on the Twitter channel, you know, just I got a tweet with the Webciety hashtag up, and we'll try to integrate this into our little panel over here. So, yeah, let's see what's next on my little to-do list.
One word about more gadgets. Actually, why I like more gadgets is because of the gadgets first, but also sharing battery life, because the only front we haven't seen any progress is on the battery life. So I use my netbook, my phone, and a device like Wi-Fi separately because I get more battery life that way. So had to just say that. Battery manufacturers, please do your job.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of interesting because, I mean, we had a huge development in terms of performance on the CPU part, on GPUs, you know. Power consumption actually got down, but it seems like the battery development kind of stuck in the 80s or somewhere, right? Well, where was the fuel cell, by the way?
I don't know, but I want it now.
Well, they've been telling us already for a decade. We're getting the fuel cell, and, you know, we never need to recharge our device anymore. Get one fuel cell on there, and it will be fine for the next 50 years.
We have to wait.
That was a big vaporware thing, right?
Let's hope not.
Okay, you know, let's get away from the smartphones. Let's talk a little bit about tablets, right? And we have to talk about tablets. And at least, you know, to extend this hype that lasted by the end of January for only some 2 or 3 days around the iPad. So sorry for you Apple guys down there. I'm picking on you now. Let's talk about this form factor in general, because, I mean, tablets are already on the market for nearly a decade, or actually they are on the market for a decade, especially on vertical markets. They're working out in restaurant environment, hospitals, oil platforms, for police, and for fireworkers or whatever. And now everybody wants to tell us, hey, tablets is the next big thing for the consumer market, right? And Apple said, hey, this is the best device they ever did. And so what do you guys think about this? Can a tablet system change the consumer market for mobile computing? Are we actually going to use a tablet in the future besides being a content consuming device, which in my opinion it is? Do you think we can also produce content on there, or we'll use a tablet besides a netbook or a notebook, Joanna?
I mean, I think, you know, we've had tablets forever. I've been reviewing laptop tablets now for a number of years, and I think the word tablet can be a little bit confusing because, you know, you can have a 15-inch laptop with a touch screen and call it a tablet. You can have a phone that's like your Nexus One that has a nice capacitive touch screen, multi-touch is capable, and that's also a tablet. So I think it depends. You have to have these tablet classifications, like which type of, you know, genre of tablets are we talking about? But I think, you know, obviously you're asking right now about the iPad, and you know, one of the things that, you know, Apple's really driven home is that people want to do more with their fingers. They want to be able to, you know, reach out and touch the computer. They don't want to necessarily use that older form of, you know, navigation. Go to the mouse, go to the, you know, keyboard. So, you know, I think they're really trying to bridge into taking, you know, touch and bringing it to our computing, which we've already seen in netbooks. You know, that's a netbook that has touch.
That's a netvertible.
Yeah, that's a netvertible. Sorry. But, so I think it depends on what category we're talking about of tablets. So I think the iPad is definitely more of a content consumption device. I think when you have that sort of architecture of a netvertible where you have a full, you know, x86 processor inside, you're running a full operating system, and you can swivel it around and use a keyboard, you're going to get more of a computing content creation type of experience. You know, Apple has built in some of the functionality to, you know, write a document or write your email. They'll have a nice keyboard, and they'll also sell that, you know, stand. But yeah, I think they're really looking at a different type of category of device that isn't falling with our netbooks, but doesn't, you know, obviously fall in with the smartphones. But, you know, it's more about reading and more about watching video and surfing the web with your finger on a couch, or, you know, maybe when you're on an airplane, or that sort of use case, but not for we're out and about and we want to use it to write, you know, an article.
Actually, just an interesting tweet. Android will take over the world. $100 smartphones, laptops, and tablets. Carmen, what do you think? You just arrived today over here at CeBIT. Have you been able to take a look at all the Android tablets that are around here?
No.
Oh, there
Not
you go.
yet. After this.
What do you think of a tablet running Android besides having a smartphone running Android? Will this be a completely different usage scenarios, or are these complementary devices?
Ooh, okay, that's a really good question. Let's get away from a tablet running Android, and let's just talk about the tablet.
Okay.
I agree with Joanna. But I also think that, okay, currently the iPad or these tablets really fill in a niche market. And I think the smart thing that Apple did is they created a platform or a tool or a device to reach that market that weren't so into the computing, the graphics, the designing, the creating. So that's great. But think about it, guys. Like, so we have these tablets and they're more content driven. But as the technology increases, I kind of feel like we're on the edge right now. We're like, actually, our society, our generation right now in the last 20 or 50 years, and that's just like a flicker of a moment in time, it's actually the bridge to another evolution of man. It's like a partnership. Man demands needs, so man uses technology with their innovation to fill that need space. And then it becomes a marriage. Then we start to be more fully integrated into these devices. So pretty soon, maybe in 50 years, if 2012 doesn't really come, I believe that these tablets will actually become powerful, and our brain systems and the way we behave and communicate and interact with the world will be through these tablet-like devices. Like, it'll be like a Star Trek kind of thing. I really think I can see us moving into that slowly.
Okay, so don't you think we still need this 100-year-old input device called the keyboard?
Yes, because we're still bridging into that future. So as our generation ashes off, then the next generations, I kid you not, I saw a 3-year-old playing with his dad's iPhone. And I'm here still with my Nexus 1. Because with the younger generation now, touch screens, touch phones, the way their body, the way that ergonomically everything connects with the brain, it's just fluid. Whereas we are still used to these other devices that we still have to, our brain still has to find neural connections,
So there's a generation of digital tablet natives coming up.
There will
That's kind of interesting. JKK, I mean, for how many years are you using tablets right now? You have a couple of tablets already for years in your office, so and you're actually also building tablets. What do you think about the tablet market?
I've used them maybe 15 years, small UMPCs, tablets, whatever. I use touchscreens, I love touchscreens. For me, tablet is accessing information, videos, surfing, sofa surfing, and it used to be even more of that. But now, with the new internet, which is becoming more interactive, I actually, when I'm surfing, I get my tweets to the browser too, I get my emails, whatever. So I actually need a keyboard more now than ever, because I want to answer tweet I'm getting or email I'm getting. So for me right now, tablet, even on a sofa surfing environment, is a bit let down right now. Can the vegetable company make it better? That's another thing. But their multitasking strategy will kill that part of the use.
It's been yelling at me, my MacBook, oh, we get vegetable computer.
Vegetable, yes.
Fruit.
So for me, I need a keyboard, really. I need a keyboard nowadays, even for surfing.
I mean, you're producing content all day long.
Yes.
Right? And a tablet is right now, in my opinion, not a content-producing device.
Yes.
Even though that Apple was announcing what iWorks, but I want to see the first one to write down a book on a tablet with all the haptic feedback on it.
Yeah. So even grandparents nowadays use Facebook. So if they get a Facebook update, they want to reply immediately. And if you are using a tablet with not that good on-screen keyboard, it's not that great. But like she said, it's going there for sure. Kids, really young kids, I have 3-year-old son who is doing like whatever with the tablet, loves that. But I don't think that will happen that soon. We need a keyboard still for a long time. Still, I love tablets in many ways or fronts, but for me they are more like e-book reading, video watching, and separating from the online world, because I can't participate.
Maybe we need one of those dual screen tablets and
do we really do the dual screen?
No.
I'm just not getting it, even though they want to sell us this device as an e-book reader and telling me, hey, you can read 2 pages. Who is ever capable of reading 2 pages at one time? Why do I need 2 screens? It makes no sense. You know, reading like this, a newspaper, hiding.
No, I mean, the idea that, in this mode you can use it for 2 pages, but you can flip it the other way and you can put a keyboard here or maybe some sort of other input and you can...
Yeah, actually MSI was showing this during CES, and ASUS was showing it the year before already on CeBIT, right? And actually they even had a physical feedback on the keyboard, so there was a little buzzer.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was kind of cool. Interesting question. Let's not really talk about tablet with you, but you guys have this Blackberry Storm without a keyboard. Your first device without a keyboard. Is it selling well?
It is selling well, yes.
Better than the ordinary Blackberries?
You can't really tell because it's different target audiences, definitely.
Yeah.
The Storm and now the Storm 2 was really our first consumer device. First consumer device was the Pearl because of form factor, but Storm was a real consumer device and it was selling well. A lot of music downloads we generated with our network operators. Mm-hmm. But tablet PC, I agree with Carmen, it's a niche product. I think there are young people having it, while they're having breakfast, they can read anything from it. And I remember remember those times when tablets were used in vertical industries. I've seen doctors running around, getting a prescription on a tablet, being connected with Wi-Fi, and then they had it back on the server end, and they were able to save lots of paperwork.
Right.
So probably tablet is a form factor for vertical industries in the future. I mean, we had that approach already, but it's coming back.
They're only getting sold in the vertical markets right now. So now they should be ready for the consumer market. You know, I'm kind of doubting, but actually I'm sure that there's no other company right now besides Apple who have this huge chance to really get them into the market, because they have this huge ecosystem with the iTunes Store around this. But do I actually really need an Apple tablet for this? Because I can also download iTunes on any kind of Windows tablet, right? But then I can't use the apps, of course. But it's all about content, in my opinion.
Exactly.
So, you know, let's get away from all these gadgets things with smartphones and tablets. Let's get to some real devices where we can produce something with.
I thought the topic is workflow for this session.
It is. That's why we're getting there. Okay, of course I have to bring up the netbook topic, right? I can't resist. So, most of you guys, I think, have a netbook. When I'm walking around over CeBIT and I'm going to the press center, I think roughly around every third or every fourth journalist is using a netbook over here. I actually saw an Italian guy still typing on the first EPC, all his articles with a 7-inch display. I feel kind of bad for him.
Yeah.
Okay, he was a little bit smaller too, but maybe that's it. Anyways, that was the best shot, sorry about that. So, Joanna, you're also using a netbook. You have the Toshiba NV200 or NV300 already? The 200, very nice device. So what are you doing with your netbook?
I mean, I think it's been what we're all talking about here. It's light creation, you know, checking email, Twittering, tweeting, and also writing my articles. So I think it lends itself so well to writers. And in the press room, I mean, I don't know if you guys, the press room is packed with netbooks. You know, some of the worst models people bought, which is so funny. I guess they were not reading my reviews. But yeah, you know, I do everything from writing my articles to even sometimes watching Hulu if you know, I'm not watching in high def. And I think it's a great alternative between bringing my 13-inch or my 15-inch laptop with me to the coffee shop or to the press room or the trade show floor. And I think that's what, you know, a lot of my friends are using these netbooks for too, and that's all of these people that have gone out and bought netbooks in the past 2 years. We're looking for something not as big as their laptop, something that didn't need, you know, the horsepower of a big laptop. They were going away on a weekend trip, they were going to the coffee shop for the day. They didn't need this, and for $250, $350, they could afford it, and it wasn't really a big deal. And I think also, you know, we've seen that sort of tablet bridge is people were using these on the couch to you know, to do, you know, things while they watch TV, and that was another great use case. So,
and I think that was a good point that you made. There's an internal statistic from ASUS saying, you know, 88% of their EPC users already have a desktop or a notebook back home. So this is more a secondary device, right? So, well, actually, you know, my user scenario, which just happened to me last week in Barcelona during Mobile World Congress, I was just filming the new Acer Aspire 1532G that got announced over here on CeBIT, and I was the very first one to get the video up, and I wanted to get it on my, or edit it on my big sub notebook in ultra thin, and the backlight went off, and actually it was an Acer, it was kind of funny about this. So, and my netbook saved my ass, definitely, for the rest of the week, because I still had to produce content, right? And I could do everything on my netbook. JKK, you're even editing videos on your netbook, right?
Yeah, sure. It's some precautions, of course. I'm shooting a different way. I would do.
You're not doing 1080p.
I'm not doing 1080p. Yeah, I'm doing 480p.
he's not even doing 720p.
But still.
Engadget is.
But every day, still, when I'm finished with my videos, I do 10 videos a day at least. You still stay at the press loop for 2 hours editing yours to 1080p stuff. So it's all about choices. I'd rather drink a beer than edit 2 hours. So I'm doing 480p and on a netbook, editing everything, having all my layers there and everything. So it's perfectly possible. I'm not saying that it's a video editing tool in general, but you can make your web a netbook to become one with a bigger SSD or more RAM.
You know, actually you can use it for real video editing. Nicole over at NetbookNews.com, she just did a video about an online service where you can outsource, you know, your video editing to a machine with a little bit more horsepower, right? Getting all the stuff on there and then editing it online. So this is also something that is quite interesting, you know, that's video editing on the go with a device that is actually, because of its performance, not capable of really running it.
Yeah, and that's the whole point for Netbook. If you use online services, it doesn't really matter which computer you're using. The key is to have a browser. On the mobile phones, we don't yet have that great browser for actually editing stuff. We have good browsers to view stuff, but like on Android, you can't upload anything with a browser only. So Netbook is great for that. I would go a bit further, even saying that photo editing, especially on the new netbooks with a higher resolution screen, that's perfectly fine, no problems there. Maybe you should get 2 gigs of RAM, but even 1 gig is enough. But you can create content easily. Audio, same thing.
Last year, CeBIT, we did all our podcasts on the netbook, right?
Yeah, every little thing. I don't have a laptop or desktop here, of course. I'm doing every little thing here on a netbook, and there's no problems.
Carmen, I saw you in the press room today also with a little EPC. So for how long are you using a netbook and what are you doing with it?
Oh, I got that EPC last year.
Okay.
That's because my Dell XPS M1210 died on me. And my 12-inch Apple PowerBook is kind of running slow. So you also have all platforms. It's not just about Android. Yeah, it is. It is. Oh my God. But I got a new MacBook Pro last week. That's the vegetable. But I use it now for it's light.
Yeah.
I do a little bit of video editing. I blog. I just do everything on it because I can't carry the big Mac Pro, and the Dell's dead, but it was heavy. And you know what? The EEPC, what is it, 100 H2A was really light, and now it's really, really heavy. And I want something lighter. I want something lighter, faster, bigger screen, more battery life, please.
Well, you just got one generation that was kind of in between, right? It had a poor battery life. So actually, if you guys are buying a new netbook, really take care of the battery and about the capacity, because you can easily get a 3-cell battery that only runs for 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours max. But you can also get netbooks right now for 250 euros that are running until 10, 12 hours, right? While you're on the. Arno, I'm sorry, I can't ask you a question right now because you're not the
you should, because I have a very basic use case for it.
Okay.
I'm really happy that we have netbooks in place right now.
Okay.
Gonna give it to my children, and it saves me time because they don't ask me again at homework questions. They go on their wiki, they're connected to the access point at home, they throw it in their backpacker, they have it with them all the time, and they are affordable for children. They're small, they're light, you can't really break them by force. Probably yes, but they really helped me out, because my children don't call me anymore. Go on the internet, look at Wikipedia about Goethe, they can do their stuff themselves. That's perfect.
And also, I mean, not to pick on BlackBerry's browser, but one of the reasons that I love my netbook is because if I'm out and about and I want to check the internet,
absolutely,
it's a much better experience.
It's a completely different web experience. It's a magic experience if it would be an iPad, right? And it would be even magic without Flash. So netbooks can definitely do Flash. They can also do multitasking, which is kind of convenient. Okay, you know, we've been talking a lot about devices right now. Let's talk a little bit about future workflow services. Do you guys think, well, I know you already do a little bit, but could you imagine really outsourcing everything into the cloud? Means only using online services? Especially when we're talking about the upcoming Chromium OS or Chrome OS, how it's going to call when it's getting out of the alpha or beta status. Maybe running a Chrome OS netbook and only using services on the web and outsourcing every little piece of data. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I can. I right now already do probably 80% of what I do on my laptop. Even the MacBook that I have is in Firefox. I'm always using Firefox. I'm blogging in Firefox.
In the browser.
Yeah, I live in the browser. I mean, oh, you want me to use Chrome or, I'm always in the browser. I mean, I use desktop applications to, the only things I use desktop applications for is photo editing and video editing. And I also run a Twitter client, but that's using Adobe Air, so you know, I'm basically living in web apps all day long. So it's some of those, you know, more higher performance applications that I use that are not on the web, and there are options for that. So yeah, I think for netbooks and for secondary devices, there's no problem. There's going to be no problem with living in the cloud. But the problem, and I know this was something you wanted to talk about, at least in the US, is that connectivity. If we don't have that connectivity, we can't get onto, we can't get to those services. And so, you know, the 3G connectivity in US is good. There's a lot of it. It's not as fast as it is in Europe.
Are you already calling it 3G over there? Because for me it felt like 1.2G every time.
Right, yeah, I know.
Well,
it is slow, depending on where you are.
3G card now. That's different, isn't it?
Yes, I'm blown away this week about how fast the Vodafone 3G is here. It is way faster than what we have, especially on AT&T's network in New York. It's very, very slow, and AT&T, you know, needs to do a lot of work on their 3G. But we're also building up WiMAX, so when there's WiMAX and LTE, I think those sorts of connectivity options will pave the way for the cloud-based services to really take off. I can only rely on that right now if I'm, you know, off someplace and I want to get to my operating system, and I can only get to it if there's the, you know, if I'm connected to Wi-Fi. I'm going to have a big problem if I can't find a Wi-Fi hotspot and 3G is down, or
it's actually the big problem. What are you doing when you're not online anymore? When you can't go online? Hey, JKK, tell us a little bit about the ecosystem in Finland. How about 3G connectivity over there? You even have LTE right now, right?
Yeah, we have it. It's not fully operated yet, but on some places. I was in Las Vegas with you guys back in January, and
that was a crappy network.
It was crap. So comparing US,
the WiMAX wasn't bad.
No, but the WiMAX was still like half what we get on 3G. So it's
really?
yeah. We're getting we're right now getting normal with the normal HSDPA devices. We're getting 5 megs down and 2 up. And now with the new stuff we are getting in real life, like was it like 14 megs down and 4 up. So you can use your WiMAX if you want, but it's not the same thing. So in Finland, 3G, it's all over. It's
how much is a 3G flat rate in Helsinki?
You can get 3G for like €5 per limited speed, but under €10 for flat rate, unlimited plan, eat all you want, do what you want.
That's a monthly fee.
Yeah, that's a monthly fee. But you can get that also free, totally free with your ADSL deal or your other phone deal and so on. Like I have 3 SIM cards with me. They all ring at the same time. They all have the same numbers, and I'm paying for only 1 SIM card, and I can use all my devices at the same time. It's great to have good pricing on 3G, and it's great when it works. I have to tell you, I'm going in next 2 weeks, I'm going to Lapland. I will shoot a video there when I'm on top of the hill. We don't have mountains, there are hills there, and I'm doing 3G fine, and there's not a soul around me, so it's...
And I can't do it in New York City.
Yeah, that's the point. We should actually do a Skype call, and you're trying to call me from New York to Lapland. Yeah. So it's great in Finland, really, and it's great in here. Actually, the speed is great. It's been good. It's been sometimes up and down, but it's been in average in Germany. I love the 3G here.
I love the connectivity in Germany. I will move here for the internet. The press room internet is...
Don't do it, we have 6 months of winter time here.
So, you know, we're talking about all this mobility stuff and mobile devices, connectivity. Do we actually still need stationary devices? Who's still owning a desktop over here? You do? How about you, Carmen? You don't have a desktop anymore? How about you, Joanna? Do you have a desktop?
Not at all.
I have to tell you why.
Tell me.
I want to have plenty of screens.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If I had a netbook with an external graphics card, then I could actually do that. But I love screens, so
How many screens do you have?
Sorry?
How many?
It depends on the day, but at least 3 or 4. So I'm like on a spaceship when I'm doing stuff there. So
well, I don't have a desktop anymore for 4 or 5 years right now, and actually I don't even miss it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it is. I mean, right now, if you really want to do some hardcore gaming, you can still go for a console. You have your Wii, or you have your Xbox or PlayStation, just to name them all, right? And for the rest of it, I can watch 1080p right now on a decent netbook, maybe with a Broadcom Crystal HD card, or with one of these Wilf S10, because there's a decent graphic card in there. So I'm not this user anymore for a desktop, and I even like, you know, actually, there's an interesting statistic coming from the NPD in the state. That's not the weird German party, sorry about that, it's even an analyst in the state, saying that 60% of the networks are not even leaving home, and people are picking on it and complaining about this. I think there's also something called micromobility. That means I'm carrying this little device from one room to the other, and it's changing the way we're using a computer even in our home, right? Are you doing the same? Are you carrying your network from room to room?
Oh, definitely. You know that saying, I don't know if Germans know this, but in the US and Canada or North America, I don't know about Mexico, they say talk to the hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that we have South Park over here, right?
It's talk to the hand, everything is on the palm. I mean, not the palm, but your palm of your hand. You have the whole world here.
No, I'm the same way. I live alone, so if I don't have someone over for dinner, I'm eating my food and I'm sitting with my netbook and I'm chatting online. I probably shouldn't admit that in front of a lot of people, but so it's taking that laptop into the kitchen and it's taking the laptop to the couch and then back to the desk when I want to do work.
Right.
I want a wearable device.
Yeah.
It's not even about alternatives. I mean, look, even in Germany, people are more flexible now. They don't really work in offices anymore. Yeah. So if you're on the move, I mean, you don't really need a desktop, right? It's a change in the working environment, not only a question of netbooks or notebooks or smartphones.
And I'm pretty sure with the next generation, let's say in 2 or 3 years, well, netbooks are evolving, netbooks are developing, and of course also other mobile devices. You know, just to give you an idea, a device like this, 40 years ago, a huge IBM machine was 300,000 times bigger than this little Blackberry. It cost 300,000 times more, and it had 300,000 times the performance of this. Well, actually, the Blackberry has 300,000 times more performance than this huge IBM for a couple of $1 million that was bigger than the whole Webciety area at that time. So I don't even want to think about what's going to happen in 2 or 3, 20 or 30 years, 2 or 3 years. That would be a little bit too fast. But let's say in 20 or 30 years, we will have amazing devices, right? So, in general, what can we say to sum it up, right? Mobile computing is the future. Is it the future? No, it's happening now, right?
Yeah, we're living the future.
Yeah.
2010 is not only sounding like future, actually it is future, right?
It is.
So we're always connected, we're always going online, and actually I think we are in an age where we are changing from just only consuming content while we are mobile into content producers while we're mobile, because we have the networks right now, we have 3G everywhere, we can have decent upload streams, especially in Germany and in Finland, of course. Well, I have the same in Taiwan, it's pretty cheap over there too.
Very cheap.
Thank you so much for being here on stage, guys. It was great to talk to you. Thank you so much for listening, and heading over to Bjorn again.